Coxcrow on Irie Jam Radio.
Miss Ma'am, that is on the Zoom. Miss Ma'am, who is gritting her teeth. Okay?
Can we just give her one thing before you do the intro?
Okay. Before I do the intro. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And with that said, the birthday girl, my sister, okay, from another mister. My sister is on with us. Oh my God, Kamila McDonald. Let me just tell everybody who may not know. Kamila McDonald is a certified personal trainer, sports nutritionist, author, and media personality who transformed her own health journey into a global movement of wellness under the brand name WellFit. And I could go on and on and on and on, but I'm going to welcome Kamila McDonald to the airwaves, the airwaves of Irie Jam Radio. She is no stranger to Irie Jam Radio. Good morning, my sis. How are you?
Good morning, my sis. Good morning, my brother. So good to be home here on Irie Jam. You understand me?
Yes.
So, seeing that we got the jeans jacket memo.
Yes, we're denim on deniming today. We're denim on deniming today. So yeah,
it's a joy to be here with y'all. How are you doing? I see you guys lock in the morning radio.
Yes. We are doing thing and all. We are doing thing.
I see it.
And when we talk about journeys, right, and we talk about victory, which we were just playing with Chronix and Kez Namdi, who is the brother of Kamila, she comes from a musical family. Her sister's Kalissa, her mom and her dad. Big up to mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Artists in their own right as well. Kamila, we talk about journey, and today specifically we're celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month and all the things, and you are someone who has been an absolute inspiration to me and to many others to the world, because you went through your own wellness transformation.
Yes.
Cam at one point was what, 300, you said, was it 360 or something like that?
I was actually 208 at my heaviest.
208 with that
short frame,
and you were able to reimagine your life to to understand what it is for mental wellness, understand what it is to pour into your body in a way that you were able to transform. Right.
Yes.
And I'm gonna add to your repertoire, to your resume, that you are a transformational coach.
Yes.
Yeah, because you transform lives. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
When we look on Cam's page, we see, her in the restaurant. We see her doing being an author. We see her being a mummy to our amazing Lonnie Bear, and doing all these things. But, Cam is someone that transforms lives. She transforms lives through wellness, right? Through your eating habits and all these things, and all of that we're going to discuss, and so much more as we talk with Kamila. So, Kamila.
Yes.
Because I could go in and on and on. But I have to be mindful of the time. Cam, I want you to talk to us about WellFit, that journey, and what you've been doing in your space.
Yeah, so pick up again, family. It's always such a joy to be here with Irie Jam, who's gone through their own journeys and transformations. And, I believe that that's kind of the root and the epitome of where WellFit was born, where Camila's Kitchen was born, through my own transformation and journey. And it wasn't easy. I left Jamaica when I was 18, and I went to live in Norway for 2 years. And I think that the shift, so in culture, think about weather, right? At one point, I remember it being minus 20 degrees, no sunlight. I'm far away from my close-knit family. And I think those conditions just really took a toll on me. And I didn't understand myself in the way that I did now. And so the coping mechanisms that I used at that time were the unhealthy ones. A lot of people slip into the trap of turning to food for healing and for comfort. And if you're lonely, we're speaking about depression today. Our bodies crave these foods that are high in sugar, high in fat, high in just processed foods, which can really disrupt so many things for us, particularly where our mental well-being is concerned. And so I think I just slipped into a really deep hole, and I continued slipping until I could sleep no more. And, I just kind of reached a point where I knew that I wanted better for myself. I knew that there was so much more that I had to give, not just to others, but most importantly myself. And so WellFit really was born out of that struggle. I myself struggled with depression during that time, quite a few years actually. And so I am such an advocate, especially in the Caribbean. We try to be strong all the time. And, that's just our culture, which is amazing because that speaks to our resilience and how we're able to get through, the things that we get through on a day-to-day basis. But I think there is something really important about just recognizing, where you are and being gentle with yourself, being compassionate with yourself, understanding yourself. I think this transformation really was about understanding myself better. And so WellFit was born because, boy, when I was going through my own transformation, sin, and I don't know the full story too, I felt so alone. And I felt so ashamed, really. I felt scared. I felt like me never know what me I gonna do. And so when I got through on the other side and I felt how amazing healthy feels, and I wanted to not just shout it from the mountaintops, but I wanted to create a space and a community where others who may be struggling with some similar, things, challenges, would feel supported and guided. There's so many misconceptions in the health world and can just leave you feeling confused and you just want to give up before you even start. So WellFit, which is an online wellness and fitness community specifically created for the Caribbean community, really was rooted in my own struggle and just the lessons that I learned along the way, and then being formally trained and creating that safe space where people can transform, because you and I know that transformation, there's nothing easy about it, right? We're creatures of habit. So being able to do anything different and make a change, it takes so much, so much. And so just even a little guidance is kind of where that joy and inspiration came from, where WellFit is concerned, and even Camila's Kitchen, really, to just show people that eating healthy can be very delicious, can be equally as addictive as the things we should be staying away from. And yeah, I think community really, Sin, is what it was rooted in.
You not only with food, you are big on movement and exercise. How does exercise continue to impact a person's mental well-being, especially during stress and anxiety?
Yes, and I'm so happy that you asked that question, because I think people tend to not pair that mind-body connection, right? So we don't realize how much our daily habits, like exercise, even what we eat, especially what we eat, sleep, stress management, all of that have such a massive impact on our mental well-being, right? And as far as exercise, it is one of the most powerful natural antidepressants, right? To talk about an antidepressant, get a workout in, get a great workout in. And to be honest, any workout is a good workout. Any way that when you move your body, it releases these incredible hormones like endorphins, these feel good chemicals that really, like, literally on a biochemical level, reduce pain in our bodies and help to boost our moods. And it also helps to lower our stress hormones like cortisol, even adrenaline. And so when we're working out, it just kind of lowers those hormones and helps us to just feel more calm, more in control. And, sometimes we think that we need to go and get a 1 hour workout, sign up for some fancy gym, but even just 15 minutes sometimes, even just walking briskly. And this movement really should be daily, right? So sure, get your strength training workout 3 to 4 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever your schedule can allow. But I'm talking about movement where you take the stairs, you park further away, you get your walks in, if you're dancing, stretching, even just all of those things add up to lowering your anxiety levels, improving your sleep, which is another factor in helping us regulate our mood. And also helps to just sharpen our focus. We just feel good, right? So during any hard time, when all we want to do is cover up ourselves under the blankets and hide away, or turn to, some unhealthy coping mechanism to do away the pain, right? But during those hard times, that's when we have to leave in, and movement can become that safe space where you can release emotions, you can reconnect to your breath, which is so important, and just shift your energy. In many ways, it's not just a workout. I see working out and moving your body as therapy, really.
And just so our listeners know, when again Cam and I go back many years. When I moved to Jamaica, when I used to go jump carnival when I lived here, I would stay with Camila. She never jumped carnival with me, but I would stay in our yard. But when we did move to Jamaica, and I was just kind of feeling my way and just getting my community together, Cam was really one of the first persons in my community, and she pushed me to work out. She pushed me to eat healthier. Literally, we would work out. She would hold me accountable. Cam has a very rigorous schedule, right? She starts at like 4 a.m. with her clients, and she would fit me in, knowing that I was in a space where I was in Jamaica. It was new for me. I was feeling uncomfortable, but she held my hand to feel comfortable. And I've been through the program with her. I've been on the journey. We've done many things together, and so I am a testament to while you're watching her, you're seeing her beautiful transformation. Cam has gone through a lot, but I too am a testament of what she is doing, what she continues to do. And I'm sure there's so many people that if I even open the phone lines now, that would call in to say, look, I've been a part of Camp Camila, I've been a part of the WellFit program.
You know what they're gonna say?
What's that?
They're gonna be like, when she's gonna do our
I know. Was the next one? No, I know. No, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. But I want to say, Cam, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for recognizing the transformation that you needed. Right, because you recognize the transformation that you needed. You built a community and a purpose, yes, and realizing and understanding your purpose. Right, I know that's my word, Cam. You know that's my word.
I know that's your word.
That's my word. That because of this purpose, you have been able to help thousands of people, and so I want you to talk about this next journey that you're on, right? So you're not only just a transformation coach as it pertains to movement and health and wellness and eating, but you are also an author, right? And she also has multiple restaurants in Jamaica. So she's an entrepreneur and all these things.
Boss lady.
Come on, boss lady to the max. She's on her way to New York. Yeah, yes. On her way to New York, not for Camp Camila. People, hold your hormones. We're going to get that together. Not yet. But talk to us. You're on your way to New York to do, and again, I am so proud of you, my sis, for a TED Talk. Okay, which is a huge deal. A huge deal, Cammy. Talk to us about the TED Talk.
Yes. Well, boy, thank you for taking me back to those memories, Sin. And before I even jump into that, I have to highlight one of the things, and we have to jump back to this at some point, Sin, because one of the things that really kept me grounded during that period when you were just moving back to Jamaica, and as you said, we go way back. I remember Sin and I used to send a prayer to each other every single morning. And I think where friendship is concerned, and just again, you talk about community, right? I think that's one of the most powerful things that I've ever shared with somebody, where you speak, life into their goals and their dreams and their purpose, going back to that word purpose. And I think about all the things that we used to pray for each other during that time, and to see the manifestation of all of those things, literally all of those things right now in forms that we probably wouldn't have even imagined, right? And that's the power of the Lord, and that's how God works, right? And so I also want to say thank you so much for being the support that you have been. And when you get to places like this where you can deliver a TEDx talk on a topic that you're really passionate about, that is hopefully going to create lots of impact, you think about the people along the way, the prayers that have pulled you to that point. So I also want to just say thank you, for the real ones that don't make friends like sin anymore.
Enough love, my sis. Enough love.
Like mad out to, fan your flame and speak life into your goals and dreams. And, when you see anybody achieving anything great, they're not there on their own, right? They have a whole community, back to that world community of people who are believing in them and, fanning their flame. So give thanks for that. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'll be heading to New York in a couple of days. It's literally one of my favorite places to come. And we've done so much work in New York together. So I think this is really, kind of like a step back into a space that I love, really, really, really love. And so I just want my New York family to know, right? Them can look out for enough exciting things. You understand me? Not out to the mix and beer thing. And this TEDx talk, what's really exciting about it is it's an author cohort. And so all the speakers of this cohort are authors. And there's a book that I've been working on with Dottie Bookman and Bookman Express. Sasha, big up yourself. And so when I said this book has been maybe 2 years in the works, at least in an active way. And it's really because Camila's Kitchen, the book was written in 2017, long before any physical establishment of Camila's Kitchen wasn't even a thought, to be quite honest. And so much has changed about my journey, the way that I look at food, the way that I look at community even. And so it just felt like that book, Camila's Kitchen, needed a refresher. There seems like there's something missing. When I interact with my customers or clients on a day-to-day basis, I see there's a lot of disconnect, right? So there's a lot of people searching for the next answer, the next program, the next pill, the next diet, right? And what comes up for me is that there is simply just a disconnect, right? Because it's not about finding the next new thing. It really is a return, right? A return to the way that our ancestors really taught us how to live, generations before us, eating from the earth and really looking to food as medicine. And so this is a TED Talk that really encapsulates what the book is all about. So it's called Sacred Plates, Camila's Kitchen, Sacred Plates. And it's reclaiming wellness through ancestral wisdom and plant-forward eating. And that ancestral wisdom, especially in the Caribbean, I mean, we have so much to give thanks for, right? Think about it. What your grandmother used to say, when you need to cleanse your blood, go boil some cerasee. You understand me? When you need to take down your inflammation, you have to consume some turmeric. Cinnamon for blood sugar balance, turning to food for our medicine and really listening to what was passed on from generations, a wisdom that we need to reclaim, really. And then plant forward eating, I think going into the plant-based space. And, this is an ITAL restaurant that we run in Jamaica, completely ITAL, 100% ITAL, right? So nothing unnatural, nothing ever processed. Again, we eat straight from the earth and we make that food taste delicious and, make people excited about eating that type of food. But what I have found is that maybe people feel like, well, if you're not vegan or you're not vegetarian, then it's not for you. And there's this incredible, term called plant forward that I really love to adopt nowadays because it speaks to the fact that whether you eat your oxtail and your curry goat and you understand, me not trouble you because everybody is different, right? We're all, what works for you, sin, what works for you, mad out is going to be completely different for what works for me, right? So there's no one diet or one way that is the superior way. But what we do know is that eating more plants, eating more healing food, we all need that, regardless of what your diet is. And so this talk and even this book really dives deep into this world of, what our ancestors have taught us and how we can use plants to heal and why we need to eat plants, pretty much every day. So it's an exciting time because it's also a transformation really in my journey, right? So I started in one place and it was just about the weight loss and getting healthy again, and now it's really optimizing wellness and living vibrantly and finding more balance in that's something that I struggle with, right, in terms of turning off and making the time for yourself. And when you're running a business, it's just go, 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 but you have to find a balance. And, I know this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think despite all of the things that we should be doing and thinking about, do a little more of this, do a little less of this, I think balance really is the word that comes up for me because, we have to take the grace and the space to, just really sit with ourselves. And we don't want to achieve burnout. I've achieved burnout in so many phases of my life. And so, especially the Earth Strong, the new cycle, I've been doing a lot of reflection about how I want to approach this new year. And I think balance is the word that comes up for me. And, as we're all protecting our mental well-being, don't think that we can do everything all at once. That we didn't get to wherever we are right now overnight. We can't expect to make the changes that we want to see overnight. So even just a little bit goes such a long way. Just making the healthier choice, drinking some water instead of soda. Just even these small, simple shifts make a big difference in how we feel. And we'll always have to remember that our actions, our habits, they do greatly impact us. They impact our mental well-being. Connect the two. Don't think of the mind and the body separate. They're not separate. They're so uber connected. And so, when we're eating, don't just eat for the weight loss. Don't just eat, eat and sleep and manage your stress better for the mental well-being. There's a very powerful connection there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm great. Hi, David.
I'm good. I'm listening very intently to what you're talking about. Well, how would you respond to people who say that vegan food, a lot of vegan food is filled with salt and sodium? To preserve it, they use a lot of salt and sodium in the vegan food.
Well, I mean, when you eat food from the earth, there's nothing needed to preserve, right? You just pick the food and you cook it same time. And it's what you eat with. So in the Caribbean, right? If it don't have enough salt in there, if it don't have enough sugar, we think, it's our palates have been kind of conformed over time to, but the truth is when you're eating real food and how we prepare food, it doesn't have to have the salt. There's so many herbs and spices that we can use in lieu of the salt. And, the great thing about our taste buds is that they transform over time. So maybe it will take you a time to adjust to this new way of eating and being and living. But after a while, you're going to taste the highly processed food with lots of salt and lots of sugar and wonder, how did you, resort to that? How did you let yourself consume these type of foods? So no, I would say plant-based food is definitely not full of salt. It's not processed. You have
and quickly, what about soy? What about soy products?
soy. So I like to use soy in moderation. right? I don't like to use it as the mainstay. I know a lot of people cook with chunks, and those things. We don't use chunks at the kitchen at all. From
Okay.
time to time, maybe like once every 2 weeks, we will have tofu as our special, right? And so with the soy, I like to just use that in moderation.
Okay.
So let me just tell everybody also, persons, when you hear plant-based and vegan, so someone like myself who is a oxtail lover, a stew peas with pigtail in there lover, I have been to Camila's kitchen. I was actually one of a testers before, when the book came out, before we even before we thought about, well, Camila's kitchen was always in the idea, right, Cam? But before, we had the actual physical space, when we had skyline levels, I have been there, I've tasted the food, and she has turned my mind from looking at it as plant-based vegan to really, it really is flavorful food, right? She cooks it. I'm going to tell about that right now. How they cook, the food, the plant-based food, it makes you feel as if you're not missing anything, right? I'm not missing whatever the oxtail was or whatever, because of how they have it seasoned. So if you are going to Jamaica, or when you go to Jamaica, make sure to go to Skyline Levels, but also to Camila's Kitchen. Camila's Kitchen. And Camila, please tell everybody where, at least, excuse me, that's a big flex. At least one of them. Please tell everybody where Camila's Kitchen is in and around Kingston, ma'am.
All right. Oh gosh, thank you so much. So we have our first location, or original location, is up at Skyline Levels. Beautiful view overlooking the city up on Reggae Mountain, right beside Kingston Dub Club for those dub clubbers. So a really beautiful space, sacred space. And then we had our second location, which actually just celebrated our 1-year anniversary on my birthday. And so, we give thanks, because when you do your research, you realize that the average lifespan of any restaurant is 1 year. And so we feel just so grateful to get to this place. Restaurant life is no joke. But, when you love it and you have such a deep passion, and back to your words, in purpose, you're just fueled every day. You don't even realize it. So that's at Marketplace. It's right beside Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records. And that was our first location on the flat. So that was very special. And then our third location, which opened up in January, so just a couple months in, brand new, that is 107 Harbor Street, right downtown. It's right at the Kingston Art Walk. So if you're ever looking for our cultural vibes, where you want to check out the art displays on the wall, Kingston Creative is right there in the same building. And I'll tell you a quick joke. That space that we are in, it was very famous for curry goat and oxtail. Okay.
Oh Lord.
So on a daily basis, we have people who walk in there vexed.
Oh God.
And walk on with the curry goat and oxtail. So it inspired us to try to come up with a dish. And I myself, I've never had curry goat or oxtail before. So I don't know what I'm missing, apparently. But we have been, as a team, trying to come together to create the same texture, the same flavor, right? So we're on like a mission, because I literally cannot count on my hand how many people come on a weekly basis looking for the curry goat and the oxtail. So we are trying to come up with something to match up to that. We're using jackfruit is what we've been testing it with, the young jackfruit before it gets ripe. It's very fleshy and amazing. So to your point, Sin, it's just a studying of this type of food to know what to put instead of what, how can you create flavors that still make us feel joyful without the, terrible health benefits that come along with some of these things that we are addicted to, right? So yeah, you can find us downtown, round town, uptown, upon the hill, upon the flat.
Rona wants pot. She's everywhere, people.
More in the works, obviously,
More in the works. More in the works. Cam, I want to say, I feel like I'm looking at Kaylani as I look at you. Please give her all my love. Tell her Auntie Sin misses her and loves her very much. No, I love you. We love you here. We look forward to seeing you next week. TEDx Talk. Please tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at I am Kamila McDonald, Kamila McDonald MCD. And you can also find our kitchen at Camila's kitchen_JA.
Cam, love you, love you. Safe travels
Love
up. We will
you, all
see
of
you
you.
soon.
We see you
Thank you
next
so
week.
much. See you soon. Go and warm up the place for me.
Yeah, man. That was my sis, Camila McDonald, and she is coming to town for a TEDx talk. Not only that, she has her book out, Wake Up and Live, Camila's Kitchen. Look out for her. We will be bringing Camp Camila back. But yeah, I love sharing space with people that I love a lot, and she is one of them.
Yes,
she has been someone that
definitely.
has held my hand through a whole lot, and in turn, I have held her hand through a whole lot, and I love her for that.